between 7 and 8 years indeed. We are, of course, on Facebook and YouTube on our platforms there. We have in studio none other than Muslim Fin. I have all their names. There's three wonderful gentlemen, Zahir Abrams, Ali Sali, and Siraj Music. And they are all in studio with me. Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Doing well, alhamdulillah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, the question, okay, the name gives itself away, Muslim Fin. But for the people out there that are a little bit unknown, that don't know much about your business, what exactly is Muslim Fin?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi again to you, all your listeners and the viewers. I'm very excited to be part of the Daily Grind Show now and to be here with you. Muslim Fin is an idea that was, it came out of kind of a partnership between myself and a colleague of mine. And we worked for one of the larger, financial institutions in South Africa. And we saw a massive opportunity and a real a massive gap, kind of in the market. So we noticed that, firstly, we find that, by giving financial advice to our clients, it's quite complicated, can be very technical, but then adding that additional aspect of the Sharia compliance, when we talk to our Muslim clients who want to invest in a Sharia compliant manner, bank in a Sharia compliant manner, have their wills in a Sharia compliant manner, give zakat, sadaqah, all aspects of a Muslim's life. There's this additional layer of understanding that one has to have. So, it was kind of born from that idea of saying, okay, well, how can we go out there? Kind of like a Henry Ford, for example, and make this available to the common man, to our community. How do we go out there and make it easy for people to understand? So Muslim Fin is really a platform to be able to provide information to the community on banking, investments, wills and estates, zakah and sadaqah, insurance, and we also see ourselves as a fintech company. I have a little bit of a surprise for you later on some of the things that we have planned for the community. But in kind of a nutshell, that is who we are.
That is who you are. Sounds very interesting, very complicated, but I like the mission you stated there of trying to make the complicated easier, especially because, as you mentioned, financing in and of itself for a lot of individuals is already complicated. Then you add on the matter of Sharia and then it just gets all twisted. But you are three gentlemen in here. You guys started a couple of years ago as an idea and you guys recently launched. But tell me, in regards to your team, all of the individuals here and that you have at the office, what is the team composed of, your history and things like that?
Okay, so I'll take this one as well. So, just in terms of the team, we actually have between us more than, let's say, 80 years worth of experience within the financial industry and, within the kind of fintech industry and a marketing industry as well. So our team comprises of 5 team members. Myself, I specialize in investments, both locally and international. And what I do is I assist clients with structuring, the investments, the portfolios, and really their life in many ways. We also have Siraj, who you so kindly introduced. Siraj is a specialist in Sharia finance and banking. He has a background from Indonesia, so he studied for many years and is very well versed in Sharia. Also sitting here with us is Zahir Abrams. So Zahir has a long history in marketing. He's worked for major companies within South Africa, and he is the kind of the promotion arm and marketing arm of the group. 2 of our team members who are not here today, also specialist in banking, Shamim Isaacs, and then we also have a developer who deals with the website. Also busy with the development of some of our other tech or fintech, the portions of the website that is still to come, and we're also looking at some point having an app Nawaz Mustafa assists with that as well.
Okay, very interesting that specifically because you mentioned the fintech company. That's the most interesting thing for me. But in regards to the team and the members that I have here, I don't want it just to be one voice. So let me ask the other individuals in the room about them. So Zahid, as the marketing guy, the guy specializing in broadcasting what Muslim Fun exactly is, can you tell us a little bit about how you guys utilize social media to broadcast and promote yourselves?
Okay, 100%. So basically, I've basically joined the Muslim Fund for the past 7 to 8 months now. And it was quite a journey for myself still till today. So there's a lot of learning that I also took part in. So basically, when we bring it across to the social media side of things, I had to take that in place because, again, I don't have a financial or finance background or a Sharia or know everything about the Sharia side of things. So, again, it's a lot of learning that I have to take place. So to get that message across to the audience out there, I have to take that in mind. To obviously, again, we have to tone down our wordings. You have to tone down things and make it more understandable.
Yeah.
So we are across on all platforms at this point in time. So we got the Facebook, we got the Instagram, we got the YouTube, we got LinkedIn. We dabble a little bit in the Twitter side of things as well as TikTok now. TikTok is actually, and YouTube is actually one of the nicer growing channels that we can have because Ali, again, he's actually assisting with that, with his own homemade videos, which is quite cool. So we've grown quite nicely and at a steady pace of likes and followers, etc. Not as fast as I would like, but then again, I do understand the topics that we do cover. It's very sensitive. We are trying to guide people, and sometimes it just becomes people. We're opening people's eyes with what is out there on the financial side, maybe banking, investments, and all those things. Yeah. So it is a sensitive topic. So again, if you look at our posts that we do in the week, like our Jumu'ah posts will be liked and followed and shared quite a bit. But when it comes to when we're discussing more the banking side of it and finance side of things, then it becomes a bit more a bit wary on those type of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But also it's interesting that since you don't know much about Sharia banking, all that, you're basically almost trying to advertise for yourself because you have to put yourself in the shoes of those you are marketing for. Okay. But Siraj, you've been rather quiet. I didn't forget you. Don't worry, I can see you. Now, Siraj, as mentioned before, you guys do have experience, you and Ali Sali, in regards to working at big corporations, at big banking institutions. Now, I want to know from your perspective, transitioning that into the Muslim Fun company, but also the fintech environment. How has that transition worked out for you? And also, what are the challenges you face therein?
So alhamdulillah, I've been fortunate enough to study Islamic banking and finance, and then from there actually work in the industry for a few years. So I've been in the industry for about 12 years, and for 7 years specifically, I've been working in Islamic banking and finance. And I think just part of the experience and the learnings from working in the industry, we found that Islamic banking there's a lot of misconceptions about it. People find a lot of complex or find it complicated, and also it hasn't been around as the more traditional or conventional banking. So there's always been this misunderstanding on Islamic banking and finance, its product offering, its service, and the idea with Muslim Fun is really to be able to make people understand, create that awareness, and then also advise, or rather not advise, they're able to provide the clients with those different options that are available in the market, and then obviously touch on the most frequently asked questions from the community. So so what makes it different? What can I get? How do I actually apply for it? Why is it Sharia compliant? What's the difference between an Islamic home loan compared to a conventional home loan? So these are the type of questions we do get on a daily basis. And if you look at the Islamic banking market within South Africa, it's not as old as your traditional banks, like I mentioned, but it's not as young as well. We've been around quite some time, but till this day, we still find people trying to understand the concept of Islamic finance. What does it actually mean? And the type of questions we get is like, so there wasn't anything like Islamic banking or finance in the time of the Prophet. Where does this concept come from? So these are and it's valid questions. It's questions that needs to be addressed and answered. So with the platform, with the Muslim Fund platform, we hope to be able to answer those questions and bring that awareness in terms of the product offering that's out there in the market.
Okay, very interesting. That we're gonna have to go for some commercial news. When we return, it's going to be more of the daily grind. So of course, stay tuned.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.
Come on, baby, come on. Ja, dat weer die staten, man.
Hy is nie die stating, hy is die weet.
Maar dat as jy presies die staten. Maar dat hy wil net slim wees. Nou sê vir my, waar in die goeie Kaap gaan ons nou 'n battery kry?
Universal Motors
Is it?
in New Woodlands, Highlands Drive.
Okay.
Het die airtime?
But of course I got it.
021-374-1082.
As 'n klaar 9 o'clock.
Yeah, now they open from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Nou let's go. Ek het jou gesê is die battery nie.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with spectacular beauty. Relax beneath the serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. Voted world's leading luxury safari park, Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five and enjoy our luxurious facilities with various 5-star accommodation types. Enjoy tantalizing world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now 1042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
When you think tasty, Salih Barbecue. When you think quality, Salih Barbecue. When you consider variety, Salih Barbecue. Yes, Salih Barbecue tonight has you covered in Cape Town with branches in Lansdowne, Rylands, Woodstock and Grassy Park. Spicy curries, flavorful tikka, noodles or local Gatsby are but a few to mention from a huge menu. Visit www.salihbarbecuetonight.co.za for a full menu, current specials and delivery options in your area. Or phone us on 021 696 3392.
Kap op die kar se deur my broer.
Is oep.
Dis my kar! My kar is gesteel! Jette! How kan ek nou vir Mohammed sê?
No worries. At House of Rad, we put tracking devices for all vehicles, motorbikes, boats, monitoring your vehicle on your cell phone, live viewing online for only 99 Rand per month.
Mense boos se kry.
My bro, House of Rad, opposite Athlone Stadium. Call us on 021 637 9024.
Your one-stop car security and sound shop.
As we enter the summer months, thousands of villages across Africa are in urgent need of water. Sponsor a water well for 14,800 rands or a borehole for 55,000 rands as a means of Sadaqa Jariyah and empower communities across Africa. Africa Muslims Agency.co.za.
Live from Cape Town, this is the Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM.
The Daily Grind. Boosting your business savvy.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Daily Grind with myself, Daanyaal Matthews. In studio, I have, of course, Muslim Fun, 3 wonderful gentlemen. Before the break, I was asking them in regards to how they started. Now we're going to get into more of the nitty-gritty. Now, Ali, in the beginning, you mentioned there you guys found a need. You basically, because of your experience in the financial world and dealing with individuals and trying to educate them on Sharia matters, you mentioned it's complicated. You already have finance, now you have to add on the Sharia aspect, and it just gets a big mess for the layman. But in regards to the need that you saw and the start of this entire enterprise, how did it all begin?
That's a fantastic question there, Daanyaal. So let me just take maybe a step back and give you a bit of background of myself. So I started actually in the IT industry, and I moved to the US in 2000, and I moved there around the .com bubble. So getting a job in IT at the time then became quite difficult. So I then decided to change my major to finance, and then I worked with some of the largest banks, Fortune 500 banks within the US for I actually spent about 11 years in the US, and I got my stockbroking license there as well. Now, after being out of the country for 11 years, working and working there, and kind of getting that international experience, I then moved back to South Africa because I wanted to be close to family again. And then, I worked for a few of different organizations within South Africa, some major companies within South Africa. But then, after, I think, within the last, let's say, 5 years or so, I really started to become very interested in, Sharia compliant finance, banking and finance and investment specifically. And I thought to myself, well, you know what, if I have 20 years worth of experience in the industry, international experience in the industry, and I'm finding this difficult to comprehend, then how hard must this be for the layman, for the person that doesn't have any, financial background or experience? And I thought, oh man, you know what, there must be a way. So I went and did some research, and I looked around and did courses, and I did my honors, and I did in Sharia banking and finance, and I kept looking around, and I couldn't find the answers that I was looking for. And I said, hey, you know what? I spoke with my colleague at the time, Shamim Isaacs, and I said, hey, I have this idea. What do you think of this? Let's develop an app. Let's develop a website. Let's try and, even if we just do it as a little side project, you know what I mean? Let's just go out and do this and see if we can help people. This is our form of dawah, because, we have this knowledge. We have all of this experience, and what should we do as Muslims? We should be sharing our knowledge, right? And that's kind of how it started. And then, we got different team members on board. We got a developer, Nawaz Mustafa, on board, and we started working on the website and the design. And then we realized there's actually a lot more to this than we thought, and we sought help from people like Siraj, who are specialists in Sharia banking and finance, and people like Zahir, who also joined us later on in terms of promoting this. So it's kind of it's grown out of wanting to provide our community with the same type of solutions that you would get in the conventional kind of markets in terms of banking and investments, but giving them this contrarian view and saying, hey, you know what? There are these Sharia compliant solutions available. Are you aware of it? Did you know you can start, utilizing it within your own life? And if we can change one person's life, inshallah, that would make a big difference for us.
Fantastic, truly. But Siraj, before the break, you mentioned how, as you work in the big banks and you have to educate individuals on Sharia matters, and there's questions that always arise, questions that because of the reality that it's such a complicated matter, you're both explaining finance and you have to explain Sharia. So from that perspective, when you joined the project and you basically came on board, in regards to creating that kind of awareness and answering those frequently asked questions, could you maybe enlighten us on some of the matters that maybe people are confused about, or some of the interactions you've had where confusion was clear?
Okay, so that's actually a really good question. You find people at different stages of their lives. Either they're about to get married, they require some funding to purchase a property or to purchase a vehicle, or they need to take out a will, etc. So you come across all these people with different requirements or needs in terms of from a Sharia perspective. So from a website point of view, we found that although there has been this big boom in terms of the product development. So today in the market, you can actually find almost a product equivalent to what you can find in the conventional space. So from your transactional accounts to investments to mortgages, you have all these products available. And what we've picked up is that the uptake wasn't as great as what we would have thought. So the question is, why aren't people taking it up? We've got all the products available now. We've got Sharia boards in place that have, that made it Sharia compliant. What is the reason why people aren't taking it up? And I think one of the main reasons was the awareness point of view. So part of the Muslim websites obviously to create that awareness, and not just to create the awareness, but to be able to make people understand what the difference is between the Islamic offering as well as the conventional offering.
Yes.
And like I said, today you can find an equivalent to all the products you have in the market, bar one or two, as for example, a credit card or personal loan. But if you look at our website, our slogan is the roadmap to Sharia banking, and you will find we cover, banking, investments, property, wills and estates, and we do feel in your lifetime you will pass one or two of those milestones, and there might be a requirement or a need for it. What we picked up is that when people already in the market, there's this perception about banks. People don't really like banks because for various reasons, going to the bank, waiting too long, the perception of the banks are charging huge amounts of interest, etc. So this is already that perception about banks. And now we come into the market with Islamic banking. How is it different? Is the service offering different? Is it unique? Is it the same? Are we changing the word interest to profit? These are the type of questions. And Ali will tell you, being in the investment side, in the investment space, people will say, I want to invest in a Sharia compliant investment fund or vehicle, but tell me what type of interest will I get back? You see, so we understood that there is definitely that gap within the market where that learning and awareness needs to be. And if you look at these huge institutions and banks that do offer Islamic banking products, very few of them do not advertise this, and for various reasons. Again, although Muslims, we are a lot in Cape Town, but if you look at the national setup of South Africa, we make up about 4 to 5% of the country. And what we've seen was that we've got an Islamic bank in the community, but you also have these institutions that are now offering Islamic windows. So people are also questioning, how Sharia compliant is it? What is an Islamic window? So an Islamic window for our viewers and our audience is that any conventional institution that offers a Sharia compliant product is known as an Islamic window. So you'll see some of the big banks are now starting to offer these products, and they've also seen the need for it. Their clients are asking for it. What Sharia compliant options I do have. I want to bank in accordance with my faith. Do you have a product that has it? So these institutions are coming aboard. They're starting to provide the products. It's just that we are seeing a big gap between the take-up of it and the product offering. And I think it comes down to, obviously, the awareness of the products, the marketing of it, the understanding of it as well. So with Muslim Fin, inshallah, we're trying to provide that platform where people can go onto our website, learn more about Islamic banking, and ask the questions. How do I actually take out vehicle finance? How different is it to conventional? Because we do have the answers. We do have the products readily available. And we've seen in the community, people are going to the banks and they're purchasing a home. And what we've seen in the industry is that Islamic banking is more of a reactive type of response than a proactive. So if you go into a bank to, apply for a home loan, and you don't ask for an Islamic home loan, they're going to provide you with a normal conventional home loan.
Okay.
And again, it also comes down to perception. People are also aware that, we're living in towns where people are hoping just to get an approval. So they're going to the bank, they're applying, and just to get an approval is such a relief for them that, they don't really care. Also, it comes back to, a couple of years ago, we didn't have these alternatives available. Our parents or grandparents didn't have these options available. And for a very long time, the conventional banking became the norm. This is what banking is. This is the only product it is, and we've got to make it do with it. So a lot of work has been done in the space, the Islamic banking space, to actually provide these products to our Muslim clients.
And if I can just add to that, what I would also say is, a lot of times as a client who's looking for a Sharia compliant solution, when you go into your bank, remember a lot of times you're ending up speaking to, let's say, John Smith. You know what I mean? And when you ask for a mortgage, John Smith is not necessarily going to want to bring up the idea that or mention to you that there is a Sharia compliant mortgage as well, because you might ask another question, which he or she may not be able to answer. And so it's important for us to, as the Muslim community, to do our own research, and that is the reason for Muslim Fin being there. So let's say, for example, that you're interested in vehicle finance or mortgage finance or whatever, a bank account, whatever it may be. Go into a bit of research. Go to muslimfin.com. Okay, go and see, okay, well, what do I need to, what kind of questions should I be asking? And then when I go there and say, okay, well, John, can you maybe direct me to someone who can answer this for me? Because I really want to initially start off with, when I do apply for that mortgage, I want to apply for the Sharia compliant version of it. You know what I mean? So now let's say, for example, you go a bit further and you say to John, I want a mortgage. I want a Sharia compliant mortgage. I say, oh, okay. We do offer that. I say, okay, but now how can you tell me how that's Sharia compliant? John's not going to be able to answer that. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we also have to do, as a community, we have to do a bit of research, and we have to have a bit of, kind of insight before but we have to also go to the banks and financial institutions and also request from them, and almost in a sense ask them to be creative with the the solutions that they provide us.
Yeah, 100%, Ali. I think there is a responsibility both on the institution providing the product as well as the individual wanting the product. So I think, like you said, it's important that we as Muslims also do our research, because from an Islamic banking perspective, from a Sharia perspective, we've got all these laws that govern our lives, whether it be our family life, our ibadah, our hajj. And with finance as well, there's a set of laws that governs our finances and our business transactions. And it's key for us as Muslims and individuals to understand that as well. It's as important as it is to eat halal. It's also important to deal with our finances in a halal manner as well.
No, truly. Time is really flying, because as I say this, we have to go for another commercial break, which is unfortunate because there's so many more questions I want to ask. I have a whole notepad here of questions, but anyway, I'm going to get through to them after the break. Stay tuned.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.
Khadija, het jy gehoor?
Wat gehoor?
Voice of the Cape gaan Houdini toe.
Oeh, jene, die sound was lekker.
Ja, lekker vir die hele weekend van die 3de Februarie.
Maar Lima, ek is dan alleen.
Wat worry jy? Kry 3 van jou chommies, dan share hulle die kos van die rondawel. En uitgesort is jy. En jy gee net 'n deposit, want jy kry kans om dit af te betaal.
Oeh, ek is nou so excited. Laat ek gou vir VOC bel om te boek.
Yes, come and spend the weekend with the Voice of the Cape at Houdini Spa from the 3rd to the 5th of February 2023. For bookings, please contact Houdini Spa directly on 023 349 8100. That's 023 349 8100. And make sure to mention the Voice of the Cape weekend.
Itchy feet? Are your athlete's feet getting out of hand? Do you suffer from ingrown toenails? Is cutting your toenails more of a pain than the toes itself? Calluses, corns, and bunions is not what you asked for. Rescue your feet now at Feet for Life. Feet for Life. We treat all foot-related problems like diabetic feet, foot screening, and basic foot care. Visit Feet for Life at our 3 branches in Constantia, Rondebosch, and Mitchell's Plain. Contact them on 067 988 6045 or go to their website on www.feedforlife.co.za to book your appointment now.
Kick off your morning with the Otto's Day Start breakfast at just 49 Rand as our baristas craft you a silky smooth cappuccino for just 25 Rand. Enjoy a scrumptious chicken schnitzel baked to perfection alongside a creamy mushroom sauce and crispy chips at 99 Rand. Mouth-watering burgers, tender steaks, fresh seafood and decadent desserts with a variety of flavors and sides. All this and more at the Ottoman on Crimbwim, 1 Rockaby Road, Crawford. Call us on 021 696 9719. Strictly halal and salah facilities available.
When winter comes, it's more than just cold. For millions of refugees, displaced persons, flood-affected families, and impoverished households, winter is a question of survival. That's why the Al Imdad Foundation is reaching out to deliver winter aid to struggling communities in 14 countries across the globe. Help spread the warmth today by sponsoring a winter pack for 600 Rand. Donate online at www.alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Live from Cape Town, this is the Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM.
The Daily Grind. Boosting your business savvy.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Yes, indeed. I still have Muslim Fun with me. They haven't run off yet. They're still here. And before the break, they were enlightening me on the matter of educating the community, educating the laymen on the matter of finance and Sharia and the complications that come out of that. And that actually brought me into another question, because I was with her around perception, awareness, education. And your business is basically a fintech website or fintech. You guys are building an app and all of that. And I wanted to know from your perspective in regards to the development of the app and translating all of this information that is so complex into a concise medium. How has that been in regards to challenges, but also in regards to the app and the future of it? What can we expect moving forward?
Okay, well, that's a very exciting part that I'm quite happy and excited to share with you. So just in terms of some of the things to look forward to and reasons for you to go and visit www.muslimfund.com would be that we are going to be launching very soon a inheritance calculator.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the tech part of the website, and we haven't yet gotten to the app, but we first want to get kind of the website going and get those things right. But we have multiple calculators also coming out. So like for Ramadan, you should be able to calculate your zakah. Okay, and then from there we want to get to a point where we want to create a challenge for our audience, where we have 30 days of giving. So you could potentially calculate your zakah, figure out what the amount is to the cent, and then say, okay, well, here's 30 different organizations that we could be able to make payments to. Whether it's 100 Rand, 50 Rand, 20 Rand, whatever it may be. We also have other calculators like the mortgage calculators, vehicle finance calculators that actually give you, what kind of profit share is and doesn't kick out, interest rates and things like that. So those are all exciting things that you guys need to, or your audience need to keep looking out for in your viewers. That should be coming soon. How does it go? Look out in the space, or
watch out for the
space. There.
Yeah. I mean, just to add on to what Ali said regarding these awesome calculators, it was something that's been worked on for quite some time. I mean, I myself just sit on one side and I pull out my hand thinking what Nawaz has gone through just to get to where we currently are. But with that said, these calculators are only going to benefit everybody out there. It will be advertised and marketed on our social media platforms. We will be keeping our viewers up to date as regards to when it'll be launching, etc. So I mean, it's big. There's big things going to happen for Muslim Fund this year, inshallah.
Yeah, very much so. Zahid, that actually brings me to another question for you. You've been rather silent, so I have to keep something to answer. Zahid, when you're going on social media and you're promoting this, of course, you're competing with individuals that are out there basically selling scams, basically providing things that are way too good to be true. I'm sure you've come across it where they're telling you, give me 50 Rand, I'll give you $1 million. And then people actually invested because of the reality of what they're promising. And now you're coming through trying to basically preach truth and trying to make it way more educative and try to build that awareness. And in respect to that, with your social media platforms, how has that been in regards to broadcasting that information, but also the difficulties therein?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is 100% correct. I mean, there are channels out there that's, minimal investment and, they get this payouts that's unbelievable. But again, if you take a step back, as the guys mentioned earlier, we are setting up a platform that's trying to educate those out there, Muslim, non-Muslim. Because again, I mean, when we're talking Sharia fines, then the non-Muslims might thought that they cannot do Sharia. Why? But I mean, it's also available to them. Yes. Again, the whole idea, I mean, we're not here to make anybody rich, but we're here to educate, assist. I mean, it's our form of dawah at the end of the day. Riba is one of the biggest sins that people are doing out there. And, and I mean, I might get slapped over the wrist for saying this, but it doesn't get mentioned enough to the community, about, they'll talk about a lot of other things, but when it comes to riba, then things just goes a bit down. So with that said, I mean, on the social media side of things, I mean, there's a lot of A/B testing that I do. So as an example, what I mean by that is we got Facebook and Instagram. That's quite kind of similar kind of posting that will happen. But then you got TikTok, which is totally different. You need videos. You need, have all this, music playing in the background and all that. But I mean, again, we are trying to be more of Sharia or more Islamic in a sense. So we cannot do that. So our trying to compete with those guys out there, it's going to be difficult because, with TikTok's algorithm, if you put one kind of song in your TikTok video, you get 1 million views.
Yeah.
If you put in Islamic nasheed, you don't get that 1 million views.
Exactly.
So again, we are trying to cover very sensitive topics, right? So again, the following will happen, but will happen at a very slow rate. But like Ali said, even if you convert one person, we are doing something right.
Wonderful with that. Guys, it's actually quite sad because we actually, again, reaching the end of the segment, quite shockingly. But I did promise a curveball question that isn't a curveball because I ask it every single time I have a business in studio. But you guys don't know the question, so it is a curveball to you. And that is more in respect to the future of Muslim Fin. You guys have been in operation now. The idea has been there for the past 3 years. It's been enacted for how long again?
Just over 3 years. Oh, the website went live in October 2022.
So 2022. So you've only been in operation for like a couple of months now. Okay. So they kind of, you see, because usually I'd also question in relation to how long you've been operating and will you see yourself in that same length of time in the future. But I'm just going to go with 3 years and make myself think that you started 3 years ago. So in 3 years' time, where do you see Muslim Fin going, or where do you desire it to be in the future?
So with Muslim Fin, really, we want firstly to be able to reach every Muslim home in South Africa. That's ideally our goal. And then, like Zahir said, this Sharia compliant finance is not only geared for Muslims, it's also for non-Muslims. And you'll find that there's a lot of church organizations and non-profit organizations and even individuals that are very much interested in Sharia compliant investments and banking, because there's the ESG, the environmental, social and governance aspect that is an overlay within Sharia banking and finance. And so if you want to invest in bank from an ethical perspective, there's also that overlay, and there's a lot of people that out there that are looking for that, whether it be Muslims and non-Muslims. But then from that perspective, within the next 3 years, inshallah, we would also like to reach a larger audience. And we know that with the solutions that we're providing, we are able to assist people globally. And so the tech part of the fintech business is really there for any person, you know what I mean? And I mean, there's just over 1 billion Muslims.
Yeah, I think where the world is going, everything is online, everything is digital. Even with banks and institutions, you can now open your account online, etc. And I think with our website, I think with time it will evolve as well. And at the moment, with the information and the awareness we're providing, we almost want to get to a point also where we're able to introduce our audience and our viewers to the products with these institutions and connect them. So whether we work collaboratively with these institutions, but I think we'll definitely get to that point where we can actually not only just provide knowledge and awareness, but also actually provide the products that are available directly to the clients.
Just to add on to what the gentleman just mentioned now, what I see from my side, from a marketing side, is purely that I want Muslim Fin to be the go-to. So if you thinking, I want to do Sharia banking, finance, investments, whatever, Muslim Fin should be the Google of Sharia banking. That's where I see Muslim Fin in the next 3 years, and hopefully even sooner, inshallah. So that's my 5 cents I wanted to add to that.
Okay. Well, guys, like I said, we're actually running out of time and I have to actually conclude the show now. Kind of sad because I have so many more questions. Like, seriously, there's so many things we can get into here in respect to what your business is. Because as you guys have mentioned, there's so many questions that people have on this matter, and education on it is so scarce. And as you also mentioned, Zahir, that when this discussion comes up, a lot of people just walk away, stay silent, repeat the same phrases, but never really in respect to modernity and how it works in the current reality with everything that's going on. But if anybody out there wants to find out more about your business and they want to also educate themselves more on being a Sharia compliant Muslim in South Africa and all of that, how can they do so? What are your platforms?
Okay, cool. So our website, which was mentioned, is www.muslimfin.com. Our social media tag is @MuslimfinZA. So they can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and that's where
So
we'll be.
basically everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically everywhere you can find them. That will be. Guys, thank you so much for coming on board. It's been absolutely wonderful. I hope that all of your dreams to educate the community and all your endeavors grow from strength to strength. And I hope that our Lord blesses you in that regard.
Okay.
Shukran so much. I'm hoping you guys will come on again because again, so many more questions, and I'm pretty sure people out there have questions on this matter. But for myself, Daanyaal Matthews, I have to bid adieu to all of this wonderful gentlemen, but also the wonderful listeners and viewers of Voice of the Cape. And I bid you adieu with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Daily Grind. Boosting your business savvy.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.
The Butcher's Market. Everything you expect from a butcher's market and more, including A-class lamb and beef, chicken, sensational sausages, ground beef, tasty burgers, and quality cold meats. We take pride in the way we prepare, package, and present our products to you at the perfect price. Visit our conveniently located stores in Watergate Mall, Mitchell's Plain, Belleville,